Alright, starting off with pin squats yet again. Uh, Switched my grip from just a standard, all my fingers on one side of the bar grip to a Talon grip. I actually found it really super beneficial in locking my back in. One thing I'm noticing though, and this is the case with every grip, but I'm just noticing, especially this week, is my back position on my unrack walkout and walk in is not good. My elbow position rather. My elbow position during the rep is good, but I'm cueing it before I rep it, and I should just be cueing the tightness the entire time and the pre-hinge the entire time, rather than cueing it before I do the rep. So here's my rep deadlift for the week. Uh, I'm noticing when I use straps, I'm not getting my back into a really good position. It could be better. It's not super egregious here, but as the reps go on, it gets a little bit more egregious. I think that's also has to do with me getting lazy during repping it out. So I need to do a better job of cueing that spinal tightness, because it doesn't matter when it's 320 and I could just use my back no problem. But when it gets heavier, I need to be able to use my glutes and hamstrings more. I hear my block pulls. These were really hard. I was pretty gassed after my deadlifts, which usually happens. I mean, rep work in general is hard. I don't think anyone's going to disagree with that. So it's just important to get your wind where it needs to be so that you can chug through them. Man, look how high my hips end up being. It's crazy. So I took a single before my speed bench today. Or not today, but on this day. That I don't think that was the brightest idea in the world. But I just wanted to see where I'm at. And it's a super grinder. Sucks. So here's my explosive bench for the week. Obviously, it's going to be pretty easy. I've been experimenting with putting my heels up because that is legal in USPA. So just giving it a shot. I think I might switch to this. Feels a lot better. My one concern is it makes it feel a lot more like my butt wants to pop off the bench. So it's just something I got to keep in mind. And here's some two board. This was stupid to do it with this lightweight. I should have just done close grip instead if I'm only going up a little bit from my speed work. So this was kind of a waste of time in my opinion, because I mean I'm just gonna blast them out. Yeah, I'll say it's just nothing. Here's some squats that I'm actually proud of for once in my life. These actually turned out really well. Okay, so my elbows are good here, and then they flop back a little bit. So now, then I have to re-cue them to get them tight. But other than that, I mean, these moved really good. I'm very happy with these. And I'm even happier with these because these moved really well. This is probably only 10 pounds under my opener. What I think I'm going to do for my opener. So, considering I did 5 sets before this, I think I'm in a good place. I'm going to be really conservative with my squats for this meet, just because it's not been going well. But it's good, just a baseline meet at the new weight class. I'm not too worried about it. And here's my pause deadlifts. It's kind of interesting since I'm doing such an explosive start with the pause deadlifts. But I feel like it's actually pretty beneficial because you could see it just looks like I'm getting in position. But no, that weight's off the ground, baby. So I think I'm getting pretty strong at off the floor stuff. It might come to a point where my lockout's actually weaker than my off the floor, which would be pretty cool. That would be the first time that I've had a weak point that's changed. Where it used to be my weak point, then it became my strong point, and vice versa. That would be pretty cool. Here comes a grinder. Oh, not too bad. Incorrect. So this is what I wanted to speak on this week. And when I say this, I have no disrespect towards Mike Duchier. This is just me. I listened to his table talk with Dave Tate, and I had some thoughts about his system. So he uses estimated 1 rep max, and we'll just track metrics to create customized block length. The issue with that, in my opinion, and the kind of bottom-up periodization, is that there's not as much flexibility. So if every block is based on estimated 1 rep max, so you can't have any blocks that focus on athleticism or technique or anything like that. The only metric that matters in that system is the estimated 1 rep max, or at least that's what I gathered from hearing. So you're not focusing on hypertrophy. I'm not saying you're not doing these things like athleticism and hypertrophy. I'm just saying it's not the goal of the block. The goal of the block is always to bring up the estimated 1 rep max. So it seems like you can't be it's hard to be a more well-rounded athlete if that's the only metric you're looking at. So that's my criticism there. Obviously it's a great system that's very successful. That was just one thought I had listening to the podcast, and once again, no disrespect intended. He's a personal hero of mine. This is what I was listening to over the week. If you're like a metal head the way I am, like a core kid, I guess, and you haven't heard this, you're doing yourself a disservice. This is pretty much the gold standard. I don't have anything else to say. I don't think anyone's going to disagree with me, and if they do disagree with me, their opinion's not worth listening to. And that's not just because they disagree, but that's just because they're not in touch with what's good to listen to, I guess. Here's my email. I'm offering free coaching. I'm just trying to learn, work on my system. I like concurrent training, conjugate principles. I like the cube method a lot. So my program I'm running personally is pretty damn similar to the cube method. A lot of percentages and whatnot are the same, but I try to apply some conjugate principles of exercise rotation and small exercises feeding into big exercises.